You're watching the Oil and Gas Report, brought to you by Katch. We're on the floor of the 2012 Global Petroleum Conference taking place in Calgary. Now, there are about 60,000 people expected to be here over the next 3 days. One of the people joining us right now, his name is Terry Bryant, and Terry, safety is your main concern.
Yes, it is. I've been doing safety for 30 years now.
Okay,
in
now
the oil and gas business.
You've got your own company right now.
Yes, I do.
Called?
Safety Counts.
Okay, and what is it that you do?
What I do is I look at company safety programs and I assist them in building their safety programs and monitoring and auditing their safety programs.
Okay, so what exactly would that involve? Like what sort of things are you looking at to make sure that they're being done properly?
Sure. What I look at first of all is, do they have the management behind the safety program that we're looking at? We look at their paperwork. We see if their paperwork's in line with the industry standard, which we use as our basis.
So this would be sort of like a mission statement that they would
have?
have?
Yeah, this is a mission statement,
okay.
A safety policy,
okay.
all their procedures, all their different standards and hazards assessments, and all the other important things that they need for a safety program.
Okay, so they've got their beliefs in place.
Yes.
And I guess your next step is to see how they're being followed through.
Yes. Basically, I start out with taking a look at their programs, and that's the paper side of the program. The second part of it is going out and monitoring and looking at, are they actually using the programs they say they are? A lot of companies have good safety programs, but they sit on the wall. They sit on a shelf. And what we do when we do the audit process is we go out and we see if they are doing what they say they're doing. So part of that is we go out, we watch them, they see what they're doing, we watch them when they're working. Then we also do interviewing. And we talk to them, we ask them questions. Do you know what the program is? Do you know what the standards are? Do you know what a hazard assessment is? Do you know what the hazards are at the job that you're doing at this moment? Do you know what the mitigation is? How do you protect yourself when you're working on the program?
It's interesting because I look at the places that I've worked and offices, for the most part, I couldn't even tell you where the fire extinguisher is.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you where the first aid kit is.
Yeah.
Obviously, under your circumstances, the consequences or potential consequences are much more severe.
Oh, they're very much more severe, but it's also severe in an office. We look at the office environment because, again, everyone thinks the office is a safe place to be. There's no problems, there's no hazards in there. And what we found over the years, my 30 years of doing it, is our largest hazards are in the office. And what they are is ergonomic type ones that put people off for a longer period of time. We look at in the fields and in the plants, we look at fires, explosions, but we're really good at that. We're really good at controlling, because we've learned through a history that, hey, we got to put these systems in place and we got to follow the systems. If we don't, then we have a lot of problems with it. We work with H2S in a lot of our locations, and if you've ever done anything with H2S, you know it's a deadly gas. But the thing is that people have the training in it. They've had the programs, the systems, everything in place, and if they follow it, we don't have a problem.
Right.
It's when they don't follow it.
Where do you find the breakdown? Because you say they've got the mission statement on the wall and maybe it doesn't transfer to the field. Is it management, or is it the boss that's out on the field, or employees that are just not paying attention?
Yeah,
where do you see the biggest
It's all
gap?
of it. It's all of it there. The biggest gap that I see is when management is not committed to the program. They've got it because they have to have one. The government says, or legislation says, or whatever, we have to have a program, so they have one. And it sits on their shelf, and when you go to audit, it looks great. You're sitting there looking at it until you go out to the fields of the plants, and you find out they don't even know or understand what the program is.
So are they liable for penalties because of that?
Yes, they are. Very much.
Okay.
Yeah, very much.
Because there are certain standards that they have to maintain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, OH&S, the Occupational Health and Safety, the body that looks after safety in Alberta and across Canada. Yeah, very much so. Now the fines are getting a lot bigger than they used to be, so that's a little bit more of a deterrent. But they shouldn't even be worried about fines, because you want to do it because it's the right thing to do. It's what you want to do to make sure people are safe. Nobody wants to go and make a phone call or drive to someone's home and say, so-and-so has been injured, so-and-so has been hurt or killed. So.
Well, I've had a chance to interview people with this show regarding safety awards and how long they've gone without any injuries. It sounded odd to me because of my past experience to hear somebody say, yeah, we want to make sure that everybody gets home with both hands, and that sort of thing. Has it changed a lot over the years?
It's changed a great deal over the year, because what's happened is we used to talk and we used to talk and we used to talk, but we never did the action part of it, which was the auditing side of it, which was going out even with the supervisor, being on site and watching and being part of the program. And now that's what we've gotten to the point to, and where we want to get to is that everybody is part of the program. When you ask someone, one of the big questions I always ask someone is, who's in charge of safety out here? When I get the comment back is, we all are, I know you've reached the point of the program working. It's when they come back and they say, oh, it's the safety guy that's in charge of safety. I know we haven't made it yet.
Right. Is it difficult to change the mindset once you point out the problems, or is it something, again, it probably depends on the company, doesn't it?
It depends a lot on the company. It's very difficult in some companies to change because of past history, because of things that have happened in the past. People look back to say, oh yeah, if I do that, then management gets all over me, and they start telling me, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, but good companies, you don't have to worry about that. Good companies, the workers know that they're part of the program because that's what they've been taught. They're part of the program. If they want to stop work, which is a government regulation, if they want to stop work because they don't feel it's safe to do, if you go to a company that's really working well, they'll do it. You don't see it very often though, but they will do it.
In a perfect world, what would you like to see?
Perfect world, I'd like to see basically no one get hurt and injured coming back and forth to work the same way each time. And they're all part of the program, they all feel part of the whole program. They don't have to have a safety award given to them because that's what they need to do to be safe. They want to go home safe to their families and loved ones.
So if there's been a bit of a mentality shift, I mean, we're here at Katch, the display that we've got here in Calgary is massive, and it shows all the different technology, from rubber mats on stairways instead of the steel that was there before and that sort of thing. How much has technology played a role in keeping workers safe?
A big part of it, because we now have the technology, if we use it, to ensure the safety of the people out there, if they want to follow the rules. It's like you mentioned there with the matting. The matting, non-slip, so you're not going to have people slipping in that. Yet when you go out to a lot of locations, you don't see that. Why don't you see it? Unfortunately, a lot of times it's because it costs money, and companies don't want to put that money into it. Or one thing I hear from a lot of people is, it never happens to me. It always happens to someone else. And I always use the additive, to people and say, okay, you're someone else to me, so it's going to happen to you. I'm someone else to you, it's going to happen to me. And they go, well, no, I mean someone else. You go, no, there is no someone else. You're the someone else.
Right.
So it's important that they follow through, but technology has been. And that's where Katch has really come a long way with us in the oil and gas industry, especially the drilling completion side of it. With bringing in the technology, now it's a matter of companies wanting to use that technology. And knowing that if they use it, it's going to save them money in the long run.
Right, and that's the tough thing. Put the money out first, saves you in the end.
It's what every company looks at, and we all look at that. Because you have to make money. I mean, there's no two ways about it. If you don't make money, you can have the best programs in the world. And if you don't make money, you're not going to be around. So you got to make money, but you don't hurt people to make money.
Right. Terry, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been chatting with Terry Bryant with Safety Counts here at the Global Petroleum Show in Calgary.